Okay. Hey guys, it's Eros. I wanted to talk about I was on the phone with a friend recently, and they were telling me they felt like they got the bad hand in life. They were dealt the wrong cards. And sometimes life does feel like that. Sometimes we feel like everything is just going wrong. If we're playing like blackjack, for example, right? And our first hand, right? Like the hand that the dealer gives us, boom, a two, boom, another two, boom, another two, another two. You know, the goal's 21. We're not getting the right hand. So sometimes we're feeling like the hands that we're being dealt are just bad in life. That, I'm stuck in my little isolation of depression because I can't do anything with my twos. But sometimes we forget about the cards that we already have. We have an ace. We have a queen. That's already a blackjack. You already won the hand. You already won. And let's say, we have this already and, the dealer keeps on giving us bad hands. Our ace could be an 11 or a 1. This is our 10. So, boom. We got 8 right here. We got 18. We have 19. We still have a good chance to beat the dealer. Just because our cards aren't good doesn't mean we're not worth something. You have an ace and you have a queen. You still are worth something. We're always going to feel like that in life, We're always going to have our negative thoughts sometimes, but that's not us, that is, it's a spiritual battle, Life isn't always sunshine and rainbows. As much as we would want it to be, it's not. Sometimes we're going to go through crappy days, crappy nights where we just want to be in our bed and we just want to rot there and just not do anything. Because why not? In life, it gets really difficult. Whether it's family problems, relationship problems, school problems, work problems, we all have our problems. Everyone's is different. Your problem, my problem could be totally different. But we still have a problem. We're still going to be emotionally sad about our problem. We both are, we're human beings. We all have the same feelings and we all have the same emotions. Just because you might wear cooler stuff or that doesn't mean you have less value of someone than another person or you're more valuable than another. If we go on a rating scale 1 through 10, nothing we rate should be a 10. Nothing we rate should be a 10. Nothing. It should be a 9 out of 10. And there's actually this streamer. He went to Streamer U. His name's Jay Shock, I believe his name is. And I like how he talks about that because I've always agreed with that. Like rating a girl just for poops and giggles. Like, oh, she a 9 out of 10. I'm the one she needs. Or when girls rate themselves 9s, there's always room for improvement. No one's perfect in life. There's only one perfect man. Only one. You're never going to be perfect. Sorry to break it to you. Wah. You're not. I'm sorry. You're just not perfect. Yeah, I'm sorry if that hurts your feelings, but it's just the reality of it. It's the truth. We're going to go through things every single day, every single night, and we just have to rely on the big guy upstairs. Just because the cards that you were given doesn't mean the cards that you already have aren't valuable. You won the game already. You are important. You are a somebody. If you feel like a nobody, you are a somebody. Every day you gotta work hard. You gotta just pick yourself up because sometimes you don't have someone to pick you up. So you have to make sure you can pick yourself up during those times. During those encounters of sadness, anger, we're always going to feel stuck and trapped in a bubble. but just pop the bubble. You don't always have to feel stuck. You don't have to. Pop that bubble, go explore, go outside. You know, if you're sad all day, if you're sad, just clear your mind. Go on a walk. Go see some nature. You know, go by the creek, the beach, the springs. If you can't access that stuff, read a book. Read the Bible. Just exclude yourself out of that. You know, just remember the cards that you have doesn't mean, or the cards that are given to you doesn't mean that the cards that you have are not valuable. There's a whole deck, and you're always going to get some bad cards sometimes, but there is good cards that you're getting in life. But remember the cards that you already have. Remember them. For example, for the person watching, remember, you're smart, you're intelligent, you're beautiful or handsome. You have already an amazing set of cards, so don't forget that. Life's gonna feel like a clueless cycle sometimes, but your cards that you have are already good. So don't worry about what the dealer's trying to give you in life. Worry about the cards that you have.